I've got a helmet. Your
Hey,
head's
it's totally true. Hey, everybody, happy Tuesday, May 8th. We are here at the Citrus Club with my friend Kazonomics. Kazonomics is here again. He came back. Can you guys believe it after that last episode? Sucker for punishment. The Bitcoin phenomenon, intro to cryptocurrency. And here's the thing, let us know you can hear us or see us. That's super important. Beth Marshall's on. We had such an amazing show last week. I'm not sure he thought so, but I can tell you that from the comments and from the people who came on, people loved it. You are engaging, so they just want you to speak louder. So welcome Kazonomics to the show.
How's it going, guys? This is episode 2, the reintroduction to cryptocurrencies.
So we talked about that. So what happened, like me, I told him, I said, I need you to dumb it down as much as possible. So Kazonomics is super good at that, but yeah, you should be scared, Alan, totally. No, you shouldn't be scared. So here's the great thing.
Alan?
You should totally understand that where Kazonomics is coming from and the thought process behind the show is to really dumb it down and then go dumber. And that has nothing to do with you, the audience. It has everything to do with me. Because we were actually having a conversation prior to the show, and people, Kazonomics was answering questions looking at me like I had 3 heads. But the interesting thing is, bees run. I love it, right? Don't you love that mask? It's good. And we should talk about your intro, and we'll get into all that. But you all were fantastic last week. You asked me a ton of questions. So that's why Kazonomics said we're going to do the reintroduction of the Bitcoin phenomenon, because I think so many people have so many questions. So welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very glad to have you. I'm very glad you came back, because you never know. You could have the first guest and you launch this series and they go, oh yeah, Ted, that is not for me. But you're very patient. So one of the things I want to encourage you guys to do is ask Kazonomics questions, ask me questions, and I will 100% field them to him. If we don't get to all of them today, or you don't feel like answering them live, just ask us, post something, message me, message him. I tagged Kazonomics on the Facebook post, so reach out to him. He's got a page. So anyway, welcome. All right, so let's get back to the basics again. So you did a great job. I honestly believe you did a fantastic job last week of dumbing it down, and every question I asked you seemed like it was dumber down the rung of the ladder of, wow, you don't know anything, Ted.
You can't believe the place that
You
you go
could-
to itch right now.
Oh God, great. So let's start at the beginning. Let's give them a little history on you. We had a lot of questions about that. Yvonne actually asked that earlier. People want to know, first and foremost, why are you in this? You obviously didn't start in this. This isn't where you started your life. So how did you get involved in cryptocurrency?
To be honest, the first time I ever came across Bitcoin was 2009. I was trading digital gold, e-gold, and I came across another digital currency at that time. But I'm technologically kind of like in the Stone Age. You know, I've got about the computer savvy of a person from like the late 90s. Like I was really good at Windows, Office in 1999, and I never got much better.
But you're so good now. Your social media is amazing. Your Twitter account is insane. You guys should follow him at Kazonomics on Twitter.
Well, all things are relative, right? Like I'm the village idiot in crypto, but if you guys have ever been to crypto, I seem kind of smart. So yeah.
You seem so. I'm the village idiot. ... There's no like justification or anything. You put anything after it.
Well, you got like guys that are really intelligent. There's a guy on crypto you can follow, Not So Fast. That guy's like an incredible miner. He knows like everything that
So
you know
at
about
Not
that.
So Fast.
See,
he's thrown out minor words. So
Ross Berger is a great guy. He's a great coder. He's a good guy. You can check him
give
out.
give them a history. Like, why did you get
crazy,
in?
but they're smart.
Why did you get in? Like, what was the attraction? You were trading e-gold, which I didn't even know there was such a thing. And you're trading e-gold, and then how do you go, all right, so this is fascinating, cryptocurrency.
Well, at the very beginning when I found it, like, to keep your Bitcoins, you need a wallet, on your computer, so whether it be a software wallet. Today you have, hardware wallets. A way to keep your money. And the second I saw that, to be honest with you, I was a dumb money. I was like, I have no fucking idea what that means. And so I was like, e-gold was like a crazy thing. I make my money in stocks, and I kind of looked at this, and I just like, I don't know, am I going to keep the same computer with this shit on there for like the next like year or two? I didn't get it. And so I kind of just...
So that's good to admit, because I think a lot of people think you were born and now you're a cryptocurrency expert. But what he's saying, guys, is that he didn't understand it in the beginning either. He's obviously become a huge expert. Well, I don't think anybody knows how to... We're learning. That's the whole point of the show, which we talked about before. The point of the show is to really try to educate people at the basic level, because there's so much misinformation out there. We talked about that. There's MLMs out there, believe it or not. There are 4 or 5 or how many, I don't know how many different types of cryptocurrency you can try to buy or sell, and we just don't understand it. So you got into it. I've known you for a long time. You have a brain for numbers. You're definitely a numbers guy. Mm-hmm. So technology or not, you definitely have that numbers brain, and a lot of us don't. Or maybe I'm just speaking for myself.
I mean, I look at just the economic value of something, and what is the utility of it, and what is the forward utility. That's the way I approach it. I'm not necessarily,
So utility, I think of utility trucks. So when you say words like utility, remember, I mean, I think after every episode, you're going to get off there and go, why am I still friends with him? He's a Cro-Magnon. I don't understand a lot of stuff, so I love that you're educating. We do. You're very, very, very patient. So, all right, so you got in. It was attractive to you. You had already done some e-gold trading. And so you were like, all right, so this sounds interesting. I'd like to, because you're an adventurous person.
Yeah,
right?
I was out of the market. I looked at crypto, and then I kind of looked away. Dealt with stocks, looked at real estate, and in 2013, I came back to it with the person I worked with at the time in November, and I just, I was looking at a chart of it, and I was like, this thing's about to go to the friggin' moon. And I got an account set up in Coinbase to buy it, which is pretty much the only portal that's really left for people in North America. Is Coinbase, and they're pretty easy. Their interface is actually really dumbed down and user-friendly for people to just figure out how to get in and sign up.
Let's talk about that. That's the link that you sent me. So because I wanted to partake, and I wanted to go, hey guys, I'm part of the whole process, not just talking about it. Kazonomics sent me the link. I opened a Coinbase account all by myself. I definitely had some issues. Listen, I'm technologically challenged, but it wasn't that it was them, it was me. And then I opened an account, and it's an app. It's super easy. I'm not saying I understand it, which eventually I want to talk about the app and about what's going on in the app itself. But it was an easy way for me to open an account. I didn't have to have any help. I didn't have a broker. There was nobody else involved like you have with stocks and bonds and stuff like that.
No, it's all about like you managing your own stuff. Even though in Coinbase you don't technically own your coins unless you have your private keys, which in a Coinbase account you don't. There would be the capacity for Coinbase to like. One of the things about Bitcoin is that you control your money, and if you have your private keys, which is when you put your Bitcoins in a wallet, you get some private keys which you could use to basically pull it into any wallet you want. Those keys are your money. They could be 12 or 24 words that you choose, or any kind of combination of things to take with you that you physically write down and use to basically recover your Bitcoin in any wallet. So that's your actual money. If somebody got it, they could rob you. In Coinbase, you don't actually have your private keys. Coinbase holds your Bitcoin. That's one of the, that's a great philosophical debate in the community that you should be at all times in charge of your keys and have it. And on exchanges,
what is a key again? Key is a word. Key is a key to the account.
It's a series of words that are the code. It's like the code basically to get your money. And okay. if you wrote down your 12 secret words that were the code for your private keys, and I got them, I could steal your money. So that's you're in charge of your money. You have to take care of your stuff. One of the things about Bitcoin is there is no central authority for you to call and cry about when things aren't going your way. If you get hacked on an exchange trading crypto coins, there's no one to call about like, where'd my money go? It's just going to be gone.
Well, let's go back to the beginning then, because I have lots of questions. We have tons of questions from last week. So okay. Let's get back to the basics. So just for the record, I'm going to ask it because I actually asked this before we decided on the show. There are no mines like in Colorado where you're underground and you're mining for coal. Now, I know that makes you laugh, but honestly, hey Neil, I thought when people were referring to mines, I actually thought, because I didn't understand in the very beginning, gosh, they're mining Bitcoins. That's a new thing. Listen, I'm not that smart, people. But people ask that question, well, how do you know if the miner in charge or the mine is legit? Well, it's not a physical mine underground, right? So talk a little bit about the mining process, because that brings a physicality into it that a lot of people don't understand, because there are actually mining machines, right? So I've learned this. I've learned there are mining machines. There's not a miner with a coal miner down there and you've got the 7 dwarves. There's none of that. But, I guess there could be. But there's an actual mining machine that people use. So talk a little bit about the mine part. And remember, it's dumbed down for Ted.
All right. Well, like I just told you, I come from just a market background, looking at economic value and things like that. I'm not the most technological savvy guy, so I'm going to give you my dumbed down explanation of it. Think of miners just they have graphic cards and script cards that are designed strictly for mining coins now. NVIDIA, AMD, many of these guys
on a computer.
On a computer, right?
Okay.
So you get a machine, and this machine is just designed to only mine cryptocurrency. And they call those mining rigs. You'll get how many ever cards and create a rig that will be used just to solve the cryptographic puzzles that are part of what confirms blocks that go on the blockchain for us to send money back and forth.
Are we going to go back to that like we talked about earlier?
Which part?
There's the whole puzzle and so
right.
so here
Jesus Christ.
So here I want you to explain, because here's what he said last week. Kazonomics said there's a puzzle that you have to solve, and
do you know what I actually do?
No, I don't. I'm not
shit.
sure why we're here. All right, no, I'm kidding, but I think that is so fascinating. You explained it today, and I loved it.
Okay.
There's you kept referring to there's a puzzle that the computers compete against,
okay,
and blah blah blah. I don't even understand why there's a puzzle. I had people go, "Where's the puzzle? How do you buy the puzzle?" And I'm with you. I didn't understand it till he explained it earlier. So talk about the little bit of the puzzle piece. What does that mean? Because you said the word reward earlier, and that's where it clicked for me.
Stop. Give me a chance to catch up.
I'm sorry.
Jesus. Is that a question or was that
There were a lot of questions.
Oh my God.
There's like 95 of them. I'm telling you, we don't understand. We're trying desperately. So there's a whole when you say solve a puzzle, I'm thinking Wheel of Fortune. I don't know where we're solving the puzzle. Why are we solving a puzzle, and why does that matter when I'm buying Bitcoin?
I'm so totally wrecked right now.
So tell us, explain.
Okay, so he'd asked me earlier, why is it even called crypto? It's called crypto because these miners solve cryptographic puzzles. These puzzles are part of a proof of work system or reward system based on the computing power of your machine and the electricity cost that you use to use your hash rate to solve this puzzle. This is a system in order for us to be able to send money to one another, that we can distribute the ledger to be verified by multitudes of computers around the world to record our transactions on this ledger. One of the other things about Bitcoin that we said last week that I didn't clarify was the distributed ledger aspect of it means that, for all of us, when we go and we grab our wallet and we sync it with the network to go and, look at our Bitcoins, we all have the ledger of transactions. Think of it like an Excel spreadsheet. All of the transactions that, go back and forth from various addresses go on a ledger recorded in each block. This is why you don't have to have like a bank or any intermediary. If I want to send money, we could try this too. We could send money from my phone to Ted's phone. The computers that are on the network are in a competition to solve a puzzle, and in the solution of that puzzle, they will earn a minor fee. So they'll earn compensation for the proof of work of their machine to solve the puzzle, to record the transaction, to allow Ted and I to send money.
This was so critical this morning when you explained that, because I didn't understand that. So that I couldn't figure out what the puzzle and the mining and everything had to do with it.
Could be all garbage.
But that is, no, I don't think it's garbage. I love it. No, it's so good, because that, all of a sudden the light bulb went on. I'm like, okay, so the reason that you have a puzzle, the reason that all of the miners are trying to compete to solve the puzzle is because they get a fee that then, for solving the puzzle, to get you the money or the transaction as quick as possible. Right? So the information.
So all the hash is distributed worldwide, and all these computers are competing to solve these puzzles to earn a fee in order for this network to be secure, for us to have a medium to exchange our money. And that's what allows Bitcoin to be money between us and not need government or anything like that. It comes with, a certain degree of issues when you're decentralized versus centralized, in that there is no recourse. But it is money that, Uncle Sam can't freeze it tomorrow and say, you can't get your money out of your bank account.
Because there's no central location to freeze it. There's no
ownership. It's
no
a distributed
ownership.
protocol that, is running on these computers around the world. There's no CEO, there's no board. Bitcoin is the name of a protocol. There's no owner to it. It was supposedly created by a developer or a development team that goes under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. No one knows who it is, an anonymous creator. And it was created in 2009.
Why is the anonymity so important? Because we have a lot of people ask, so you brought up anonymous, that's who created it, somebody, even though they have a stage name.
Not anonymous, the group. The guy is anonymous.
But yeah, that's right. But why, so people will ask, why do you have a mask? Why are people, because they've done their research. So a couple people came back after the show, after we talked last week, and said, wow, he's not the only one that wears a mask or has an avatar or doesn't show who he is. And so when you talked about who created it, they have a moniker or a name and they're anonymous. So why is the anonymity so important in the crypto world?
I mean, there's a couple different aspects to it, right? So there's a lot of characters you see in crypto, a lot of avatars, a lot of silliness. They call it shit posting in Twitter. It's a more juvenile atmosphere. It's money that young people basically understood before anybody really caught on. Here we are 9 years later introducing it to regular business class people, and it's been a thing and a phenomenon that has been the world's best performing asset like year after year, and literally no one in North America knew it was there. The anonymity aspect of it goes towards kind of like the Big Brother component, that as things get more digital, everybody is under surveillance, everybody can be seen, and what happens to the days of where I could give Ted $20 and Ted could go home and the $20 doesn't have my name, address, and phone number on it, it's $20, it's just its own money. It's a transfer of value, it's not a transfer of my information. So Bitcoin is supposed to kind of recreate that. Although Bitcoin is not fully untraceable, there are currencies that they have created that have gone fully untraceable, like XMR or Monero. That's the name of it. That one is end-to-end untraceable. It functions the most like having paper cash. I could give Ted, $100 and...
Keep up in that money. I like it. It was 20 earlier, now it's 100. Let's make it 500.
You're a hustler. So yeah, you transfer, the goal was to have anonymity and make it more like money and not under surveillance and money between us and not with oversight. And so that plays to that anonymous aspect. The other component of it is that in crypto, this is a market that most of the people in it are more technologically savvy than the average person, and there is definitely a huge hacker component in here. There are people that are super technologically savvy, young people 15 years old who just are just for the sake of fucking around would hack you. And it's not like it's even malicious. It's like I said, it's a juvenile kind of atmosphere. There are malicious hackers. There's money worth stealing. And so anonymity plays into that. You don't necessarily want to be out there and say, hey, I've got XYZ and make yourself a digital target, because the fact that stealing cryptographic currency from you can be a headache to track down. If you get money transferred out of your account, it's just pretty much gone. There's not really going to get a call that's going to help you track down your digital freaking unicorns. So it's, like I said, Bitcoin, it does, this ecosystem requires some amount of do-it-yourself,
Because you all, I mean, the environment, the world global crypto community is very super active on social media. And my experience recently, because of you, and again, you want to follow at Kazonomics on Twitter, wow, the amount of exchange that you all do amongst each other in that community, and I'm sure that's just what we see on Twitter. I don't know if there's more than that, but I love it because I feel like it's just out there. It's not always positive.
If you can survive my Twitter, you rock.
Right. So, and you should go and look at his Twitter, because it's absolutely insane. One real quick thing.
Depends on the day.
One real quick thing, which I want people to know, and I didn't know it until Yvonne actually asked it earlier. Crypto currencies. So we actually had questions about that. But crypto, the word crypto, people are like, what does crypto mean? What does that mean? It sounds cryptic. It's not. It's encryption, right? Is that where crypto?
It's a cryptographic puzzle.
Cryptographic, there it is.
Right. It's the puzzle that you're solving. That's just a short of it. That's where the name comes from.
Okay, so cryptographic puzzle. And again, there are no mines, but there are machines.
Computing mining, right? We talked about that. Getting, you get a chipset together that's specifically designed to mine whatever your coin is, and we call that a mining rig. This computer, using electricity and the hashing power of its cards pointed at a network, solves puzzles and competes with other computers to do that. This produces income for many people that create mining farms and has many of these machines in series to mine various coins, whether it be Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ether. There are many coins out there that are being mined, not just Bitcoin, and it produces.
And let's talk about that, because there's so when I went on, and I want to talk a little bit about Coinbase in a minute, but so there are multiple platforms that you can go on. What's the difference? So you've got Bitcoin.
I wouldn't call it a platform. They call it a coin.
A coin. So you've got, that's right. Thank you. So it's not a platform. It's a coin. You've got Ethereum.
Ethereum is a platform.
Okay. So see, this is the part I don't understand. So when I look at my Coinbase account, for example, there are 3 or 4 things. It's got Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and then there's another one.
Litecoin.
What is the difference? And would anybody need, if you're just getting into it and trying to figure it out, would it be super important for you to decide which one you need to go with? Or is it easier just to open your Coinbase account and kind of play from there?
I mean, you should never buy anything blindly. You should do some homework to understand what you're doing and why you want it. I mean, there's speculation and there's being an informed consumer when you step into the market. Bitcoin is the original coin, right? Bitcoin is the original code that Satoshi's team created that spawned all others. It's the oldest one, and to this date, like the code that stands the test of time. That's the one everybody knows. It originally kind of came into being as a peer-to-peer cash and storage of value at the same time, because as a deflationary asset having limited amount of coins in a world of inflating money, it would preserve its value even better than, like, say, gold, because gold still does have increasing supply. This thing has literally it has a finite fixed amount.
Right.
So I can transfer value and I can store value. As Bitcoin became more popular and more traffic on the network, it got a little slower over time, but it has never been particularly the fastest coin ever. The one that came next that was a really big weight was Litecoin. Litecoin came from a guy named Charlie Lee, who created a coin that was easier to mine for more people. I think the main difference is they could be mined with a graphics card. I might be wrong about that, but it was mined with a different kind of card, different algorithm, and it was faster in the time it took to send it. And one of the big problems with cryptographic money is that, like, it doesn't go like Visa. You don't go and like buy a pack of cigarettes and its money's like from here to there. It's in a second. It's over there. You have to wait for the confirmation of the miners for it to get from point A to point B. And Bitcoin's network can become rather congested at times or not. And you can have it going through and, like, depending on the miner fee you elect to put onto it, you can get it through in 30 minutes, or it can be really congested and take hours. And that's kind of like not economically viable to go at that speed.
Sure.
So many of the other coins endeavor to remedy that, to go at the speed of commerce, and some of them decide to preserve different aspects. Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. I don't know if I want to go too far into this.
Don't talk about forks yet.
I'll make it simple. Unlike a coin that somebody coded and created and ICO'd and issued into the market, Bitcoin Cash is a fork where 2 different sets of miners decided to mine 2 different rule structures of the same mining algorithm, and thereby splitting the chain. So just if you have Bitcoin, you would get the fork of it. And there's been a couple of those. There's been Bitcoin Cash, there's been Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamonds, Bitcoin friggin' Candies. It's been some weird stuff.
Is this like a stock split?
No, basically there was a difference in the direction of where Bitcoin went. Bitcoin has been trying to scale to basically become utilizable in normal commerce so that it can be money and be a medium of exchange. There have been many ways to try to make it work faster. There have been basically a block size debate. Should we have bigger blocks, or should we do something like add a layer onto it, something like Lightning that would give it the capacity to send money almost instantly and verify later? But that kind of seemed a little bit like having a third party and not the real spirit of what Bitcoin has made. So the person and persons behind Bitcoin Cash were Jihan Wu, a person who made a very powerful mining card, and Bitcoin Jesus, who was the biggest proponent of Bitcoin before many people thought of it. That's why he earned the title Bitcoin Jesus, a guy named Roger Ver.
So they're not anonymous.
No, these are just two individuals that were very big in it.
I love it.
Roger was the biggest investor in Bitcoin before many people knew of it. When Bitcoin began to go in the direction of trying to decide whether to add a layer onto it and change some of the aspects that he considered to be the foundational aspects of it, himself and Jihan decided to use the power of their mining farms and a group of other miners that would agree with them to break the code and split it. So there'd be two of them. So everybody who had Bitcoin got the split of it. And his goal was to make it peer-to-peer the way it originally stayed, and maybe make the blocks bigger to kind of like accommodate the increasing network traffic. And Bitcoin Core, who controls the Bitcoin that you know of, is endeavoring to try to go in a way that would get it to just fit into society and into commerce. Both of them are kind of centralizing it by undoing the whole nature of like it being a distributed, decentralized coin and making decisions for it. So they're kind of equally doing something similar. But the big, fight in the crypto world today is that he would do the fork and then say that this is the original chain legacy of the original Satoshi dream of peer-to-peer money. Many people disagree with that, and for nothing more, there's nothing nefarious or evil about it. He's just passionate in his belief that his version of it is Satoshi's dream. The crypto community's disagreement is that two people could have the control of the entire coin, which thereby isn't Satoshi's dream. It's now technically as centralized as possible. So, whether he's trying to maintain the coin's legacy chain to be the original peer-to-peer, what it was, and what Bitcoin Core is trying to evolve it to be, it's a philosophical debate. But in a world where it's decentralized, right, there really isn't anybody to cry to.
Correct.
Although crypto is crying to the U.S. government, which is exactly the thing that they designed Bitcoin to not be crying to.
I was going to say, so that's fascinating to me. So, and we want to talk about the centralized, decentralized. Believe it or not, we're at 30 minutes. So it goes by so fast. So we want to talk about all that stuff. I know, you're good. All right, so any parting words? So what we want to do with the show, so we can encourage your guys' support and engagement, you want to definitely follow at Kazonomics on Twitter. I tag him on his Facebook page, but Twitter is really where you're most active, and we're going to see like the real nitty-gritty of everything that's going on. Then I want you to reach out and ask questions. If you don't want to reach out to him, reach out to me, and we will bring them up on the show.
Give me 5 seconds.
Go ahead.
Here's what I want you guys to do until we get back on the next show.
All right.
Go to Coinbase.com if you're US based. Go to Coinbase.com and just open a wallet. You'll have to put in basic information like where you live and
It was very easy.
Very easy. And connect your bank account. Some banks work better with it than others, but just try to buy $10 worth of any one of them, and just to do the process. The user interface, they made the buttons like iPhone buttons. They're really simplistic, so you can figure it out. Go in there, try to buy some, get a friend of yours to do it, and send it back and forth. Just see what it looks like to do it. For me, I'm closing on a 40 this year, and when I saw it, I thought it was the funniest thing in the world to have like no physical money in my hands. Like, so this is money.
Right.
And I'm gonna send this to you, and then it's like.
But it's easy, right? It's an app, so
it's easy. You'll learn it.
We can even post the link of the app into the comments after the show if you want. That'll make it easier because you can send the link.
I'll send you a link.
Okay, so we'll send a link and then open that account and then let's $10. Like that's the thing. That's the basics of the show. Is I really wanted to go basics so that you guys didn't go, well, I don't have $25 million to invest in Bitcoin or $25,000 or $2,500. I want to figure it out. I want to play with it. I want to see what it is. And so that's where we're going to take the education as far as Kazonomics goes.
One more thing. Just some people talk to me about this, and I do think, I thought about whether or not I should say something or not about it. To make a distinction for you guys who know next to nothing about crypto, all right, if you go Googling around, you're going to end up looking for Bitcoin. And, obviously the site you're going to land on is Bitcoin.com. That is Roger Ver's site. I believe in Roger's passion and his vision, but for you guys walking in the door, I don't want you to walk into the middle of a philosophical nightmare storm that's going on out there. Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin are not the same thing. Right now, Roger Ver believes that Bitcoin Cash is really Bitcoin, so he calls it that, but there are two different coins here. The Bitcoin that you guys know of, that you've been looking at on television, is Bitcoin. BTC is a symbol. If you guys go to a website like tradingview.com, that's a really good website just to be able to pull up a graph of it and look at it. You don't have to put any funny indicators. Just so you can see price like you see stocks or currencies and look at it over time. And you can look at both. There's, like I said, there's 4 of them inside of Coinbase you can look at: Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin Cash. They're all 4 very different. Before you go and put your money into any wallet or do anything anywhere, do a little homework. Don't rush to do it. Like anything else, we're all adults. Read and do a little research, because this market requires you to take a little care. Beyond that, ask us questions on the basis of getting started. It's just like saying, hey guys, go pick up some British pounds. This isn't necessarily as user-friendly as it is to do that, but it's getting there. And Coinbase is endeavoring to make it user-friendly for you to get to the point you don't know all the garbage I talked about, and you can just go buy some and send some. But the easiest thing to do to get acclimated to it is just to touch it and feel it like anything else. Go over to Coinbase, pick up some of those, go to TradingView, start an account there, free one. Just you can pull up graphs and look at it, whether in the intraday or longer time frames. Many of you guys run businesses, you don't have time to worry about intraday, but just you can look at it and see it. And so you're a little bit more nuanced with it. So when we come back, we can have a little bit deeper discussion about this, like where the ecosystem is going, and other coins like Ethereum that are actually like platforms like iOS that are doing other things with blockchain technology that aren't necessarily all about money and,
Which is where we want to progress. You're right.
There's definitely different things going on
take the
beyond
start.
just
so
the money part.
We'll send the link. Kazonomics will send the link. One of us will, and then open the account. Let's try it. You can see it's not this giant risk that you have to take, and that's what I want people to do. Dip your big toe in, and then let's try to figure it out. All right, you were awesome today. Thank you very much, my friend. Follow him on Twitter at Kazonomics, and also just follow us. Ask questions. Reach out. This is the whole point of the show. So we love you guys.
Don't take anything too seriously. Enjoy crypto.
That's right. Enjoy crypto. See you next week.